You ever seen a guy in a starched suit try to sweet-talk a goat while standing on someone else's dirt, clutching a latte like it's his lifeline? That's the kind of scene that makes you wonder if the world's lost its mind. That was the day Nathan Caldwell, president of the Whispering Pines Homeowners Association, rolled up to our family ranch in a gleaming silver SUV, a clipboard in one hand and a pair of surveyors trailing him like they were shooting a low-budget Western. Only this time, the locals weren't backing down. They were armed, sunbaked, and ready to chew through his plans like a combine through wheat. Nathan didn't knock, didn't call, just breezed past the weathered private property sign that sagged on the front gate like it was done begging to be noticed. My uncle, Jack Harlan, cut the whole thing from the porch, leaning back in his creaky rocker, one boot propped on the other, spitting tobacco into the dust while the goats loafed in the shade, eyeing the newcomers like they smelled trouble. Nathan marched up, dodging cow pies like they were landmines, while VYing that clipboard as if it could charm the dust off his polished loafers. He was the type whose tie never dared to loosen, even when he was knee-deep in a barnyard mess. "Mr. Harlan," he called, his voice dripping with that city slicker charm that thinks it can mask a bulldozer's intentions. "We're here to mark out a new access road. Just laying some preliminary lines. Won't take long." Jack didn't twitch. He just stared past Nathan, out at the rolling hills that stretched like a promise kept. "Road to where?" he asked, his voice rough as gravel under a tire. "To the highway," Nathan replied, all smiles. "A straight shot from Whispering Pines. Better emergency access, higher property values, good for everybody." Jack stood, slow as a storm cloud, dust falling off his jeans like it knew its cue. "You brought a road to my cattle," he said, calm as if he were asking for a beer. "Didn't think to bring me a say in it?" Nathan's laugh fizzled like a wet sparkler. "The HOA board's fully behind this. The county's on board, too." Jack slid a toothpick from behind his ear, twirling it. "We ain't the county. We're the land the county gave up on cause it's too damn stubborn to break." Right then, the surveyor's two college kids in bright orange vests, hauling a drone the size of a buzzard, started planting little flags in the ground, like they were staking a claim on our family's history. Jack gave one sharp nod. That was all it took. Within minutes, the ridge to the north hummed with life. Old pickups growled into VYEW, doors swung open, boots hit dirt. A dozen ranchers, each with a rifle slung easy and a hat that had seen more fights than a barroom jukebox, formed a quiet wall of denim and grit. No shouting, no threats, just the kind of presence that doesn't need a megaphone. The surveyors froze. One dropped his tape measure and muttered something about needing his mom. The drone buzzed skyward, filming the standoff, until Aunt Mabel roared up on her quad, a .22 across her lap, and a thermos of coffee strong enough to wake a coma patient. She took one shot, and that drone spiraled down in flames, landing just shy of the goat pen. "Thought it was a sky rat," she grumbled. Nathan's face went whiter than his shirt. "This is intimidation," he squeaked. "I'll call the sheriff." Jack just nodded, like he'd heard that tune before, and dragged a lawn chair into the shade. 20 minutes later, Sheriff Tom Whitaker rolled up, stepped out his cruiser, and sighed so hard his badge rattled. He took in Nathan sweating through his suit, the survey flags flapping like surrender signals, and 30 ranchers lounging like they were at a family reunion with firepower. "Jack," he said, ambling over, "couldn't wait for me to finish my coffee?" Jack shrugged. "Didn't want to waste your cream on this nonsense." Nathan rushed forward, clutching at authority like a life raft. "Tom, thank God. They've surrounded us. This is an illegal blockade." Tom scratched his beard. "You got a public easement file?" Nathan faltered. "I emailed the county yesterday." Tom raised an eyebrow. "So, not approved. Just wished into being." Nathan stiffened. "It's only a matter of time." Jack chuckled, low and dry. "So's a funeral. Don't mean we start digging early." Tom scanned the scene, like a man deciding whether to wade in or grab a beer. "This is CIVYL, not criminal," he said. "Not my call unless someone's bleeding." Nathan gaped. "They've got rifles." Tom nodded. "Legal ones. Hell, I think the goats are licensed too." Nathan muttered something about insanity, turned on his heel, and stomped back to his SUV, tires spitting gravel like a kid throwing a tantrum. The road he wanted was still a dream, but the wall in his way was real as the dirt under his feet. 3 days later, Nathan came back, not with surveyors this time, but in a black town car with tinted windows, like he was some big shot rolling into a conquered town. He stepped out in a suit sharp enough to cut glass, followed by a lawyer named Victor Crane, who carried a briefcase and a smile that made dogs growl. Jack was on the porch, polishing a rifle that hadn't fired since the Reagan years, but shone like it was ready for war. My cousin, Lily, sat beside him, flipping through a guide to local snakes, barely glancing up as Nathan approached. "Mr. Harlan," Nathan said, adjusting his tie, "this is Victor Crane, legal counsel. We're here to notify you that your land's subject to a potential public easement." Victor stepped forward, smug as a cat in a creamery. Per county zoning, Whispering Pines has filed for preliminary rights-of-way based on public need. Jack looked bored. "You boys ever hear of rattlers? They file their claims with fangs." Nathan bristled. "We're not here for games." "Good," Jack shot back. "You're lousy at him." Victor handed over a stack of maps and county forms. Lily took them, skimming like she was reading a menu she wouldn't order from. "This is all premature," she said. "None of this is approved." Victor nodded, cool as ice. "True, but we've also filed an emergency petition for public utility. If the court grants temporary access, we'll have bulldozers here by Friday." Jack stared out at the land, calm as a morning fog. "You trying to scare us with court talk?" Victor smiled. "I'm trying to save you the embarrassment of losing." Lily smirked. "Should have brought more lawyers." Nathan, desperate to regain control, jumped in. "This can be a win-win. The road will be eco-friendly. We'll even name it Harlan Way." Jack stood, his shadow falling long. "You want to pave over my granddad's grave with recycled asphalt and call it a tribute? That ain't a win. That's a burial." Victor steered Nathan back to the car, tossing over his shoulder, "We'll see you in court, and we'll bring more than one lawyer." As they peeled out, Jack turned to Lily. "Find that deed. The one Pop kept in the cigar box." Lily nodded. "Already on it." Next day, they hit the county clerk's office, a dim cave of flickering lights and filing cabinets older than the hills. Behind the counter was Agnes Moore, who'd been there so long she probably filed the Magna Carta. "We need the Harlan Ranch deed," Lily said. "Original grant, 1910, updated in the 70s. Agnes sniffed. "Might be in the dead files. Basement. Might not. If it ain't digital, it ain't official." Jack leaned in. "We're not here to argue tech, Agnes. Just get us the paper." Agnes pointed to a rusted door marked "Staff Only." Lily slipped through before Agnes could squawk, while Jack distracted her with a yarn about his brother's barn burning down during a poker game. In the basement, Lily dug through boxes labeled in faded ink, dust turning her shirt gray. Then, in a 1973-75 box, she found it, a folder tied with twine, holding the original deed with a clause so wild she read it twice. "No road shall pass without unanimous cattle council consent, per the Sovereign Grazing Act of 1909. She blinked. "Cattle council? That real?" Jack, peering over her shoulder, grinned. "Grandpop's legal stunt. Made it up, got it stamped, and nobody's touched it since. No judge will mess with it without a full circus." They took the deed to Amos Reed, a retired judge who now carved wooden birds and hustled poker games. Amos read the clause, laughed so hard his glasses fogged, and said, "I'll testify. They try to touch your land without a cattle council. I'll swear they're breaking a sovereign pact." Meanwhile, Nathan was out there playing dirty, hiring a PR firm to paint us as backward yokels. "We're bringing safety and progress," he told the local news. "They're stuck in 1880. But Lily, sharp as a tack and twice as petty, leaked footage of Nathan's first VY, sit him yelling at a kid's toy grill and kicking it into a ditch. The clip blew up online. Headline screamed, "HOA boss wages war on Granny's ranch," and "Suit guy versus goats. Guess who lost?" Then came the chicken march. Lily rallied the town, putting a local hen, Sergeant Feathers, in a tiny green vest. Kids waved signs like "Cluck No" to concrete, and a country singer dropped a ballad called "No Road Through Harlan Land." The whole county showed up. Nathan was Lee VYD, "They've made this a circus," he yelled at an HOA meeting. The board, mostly retirees who wanted quiet sunsets, and golf started to waver. "Do we need this road?" one asked. "I like the chicken." Nathan doubled down, filed lawsuits, pushed for a fast-tracked hearing. Lily fought back, using the deeds clause to file a countersuit. The stage was set. As the trial loomed, Jack sat on the porch, watching the sun bleed across the hills. "Funny thing about progress," he said. "It never expects the past to bite back." One of the goats chomped a stray survey flag in half, like it knew the script. The courthouse hadn't seen this much chaos since the '98 chili cook-off riot over a stolen recipe. TV crews, food trucks slinging Liberty tacos, and a lady in a chicken costume while VY-ing a Feathers for Freedom sign turned the lawn into a carnival. Inside, Jack sat at the defense table, denim crisp, boots gleaming. Lily, cool as a cucumber, flipped through a binder of notes and maps. Nathan, looking like a man who'd slept in a blender, sat with Victor, who tapped his pen like he was auditioning for a VY Lane role. Judge Ezra Holt shuffled in, glasses thick as bottle bottoms, holding a mug that read, "I've seen it all. Try me." He sighed at the packed gallery. "Let's get this rodeo started." Victor went first, his speech slicker than oil, tossing out terms like public necessity and strategic connective VY tie. He showed traffic models and had an engineer claim the road would shave 10 seconds off ambulance times. When Lily pointed out the engineer had never set foot on our land, Victor brushed it off like lint. Then he dropped a bomb. A document claiming the HOA had air rights above our ranch from old utility deals, meaning they could build a road on stilts without touching our dirt. Judge Holt stared. "You're saying you want a floating road over cows?" Victor nodded. "If needed." Holt leaned back. "This ain't a sci-fi flick, son." Lily stood, calm but deadly, pointing out the HOA's permits were half-baked and their air rights plans still VY OLAT the Deeds Cattle Council clause. She called Amos Reed, who took the stand with a twinkle in his eye, explaining the clause's ironclad history. "That land's older than our laws," he said. "Mess with it, and I'll be back for round 2. Nathan whispered frantically to Victor, who tried to call the clause a legal fiction. Lily smiled. "Funny, we thought that about your sky bridge." In final arguments, Nathan railed about progress, accusing us of hog-tying the future. Jack stood, locking eyes with Holt. "Progress don't mean PA-VYing over folks who know how to mend a gate with baling wire. It's knowing your roots before you tell others where to step. This land's where my dad passed, my mom prayed, and my cousin bagged her first deer. You want a road for your golf carts? Not on my watch." The gallery roared. Holt banged his gavel. "This ain't American Idol." After a break, he delivered the verdict, the deeds binding. The cattle clause holds. No road ground or sky without permission you don't have. Petition denied. Injunction granted. Outside, the town went wild. Sergeant Feathers was tossed aloft like a feathered MVP. Fireworks popped despite the daylight. Nathan quit the HOA days later, replaced by a retiree who'd marched with the chicken. The floating road was scrapped. Instead, Whispering Pines built a walking trail and funded a barn restoration on our land's edge. We threw a barbecue, the county feasting on brisket smoked for a day straight, dancing to a new song, "No Road Through Harlan." Lily set up a booth on land rights, and Feathers got a pen with a plaque, "Freedom's Finest Fowl." As the sun sank, Jack sat on the porch, bourbon in hand. Lily joined him. "Think it's done for good?" she asked. Jack watched the breeze ripple the grass. "For now. But troubles like weeds yank one. 3 more sprout. Keep your boots ready." A truck rumbled far off, just a neighbor. Jack leaned back, the rocker groaning. "Lech incon. We got the land, the law, and a damn chicken who'd out-talk half that courtroom." Lily laughed. The goats bleated. The stars crept out, and our land stayed wild, quiet, and ours. "So what do you think? Was Nathan just a clueless city guy in over his head, or a power-hungry suit trying to steamroll a way of life? Should the ranchers have compromised for the greater good? Or was their stand the only way to protect what's theirs? And let's get real, could your town rally like that, with a chicken leading the charge? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you're Team Harlan, and subscribe for more stories where the underdog bites back. Let's hear it.